And Joseph Akable joins me in the studio with a bit more on what transpired in court today. Joseph, we've heard snippets of the sort of charges ACP Agordzo is facing. Do we know the facts of the case?
Yes, and so we have a copy of what has been presented to the courts, and the charge against him has to do with abetment to commit crime, namely treason, felony contrary to sections 21 and 182B of the Criminal Offences Act. In terms of the facts which gives a narration of the offense to which that individual is alleged to have committed, the state indicates that sometime in November 2018, while Dr. Agordzo was on a UN mission in Uganda, Dr. Frederick McPalm invited him to join the group, and Dr. McPalm is the prime suspect
of the
Take Action Ghana group as well. And so the state prosecutor said that he accepted the invitation and was added to the platform of the Take Action Ghana group. It goes on to say that the prosecutors say he was subsequently informed of the planned demonstration against government as part of plans towards taking over government. The documents filed indicate that he agreed to join the demonstration even though he was in a mission area that is out of Ghana. Dr. Agordzo is said to have held several meetings with the leadership of the group currently in custody and incited them to take over government as a right. It goes on to say that he demonstrated this commitment to assist the unlawful enterprise with various sums of money to facilitate the organization of the intended demonstration and taking over. It concludes by saying that he drafted a speech to be delivered on that fateful day of the demonstration, and so they conclude the facts by saying that it's on this basis that is why they've brought him to the court and that investigations are in progress.
All right, so take us through the proceedings in court, particularly the demeanor of ACP Agordzo.
He came in when he was walking out of the vehicle towards the courtroom. When he saw the camera technicians close by, he actually saluted at us. He waved at us as he made his way upstairs. He was calm when he entered the courtroom. It was quite a packed courtroom. He sat close to his wife, which is close to the box where the accused person stand. And when he was called upon, he went in. It was during proceedings on 2 occasions that I noticed him. He was looking closely at ASP Sylvester Asari, who is leading the state's prosecution, who, as the ASP title suggests in terms of rank, is lower in rank to ACP. And so he was looking at him closely, especially at a point that ASP Sylvester Asari had said that the application that lawyers for Dr. Agordzo was making was stifling the course of justice. At that moment, I saw him look at him closely. He smiled and shook his head. And there was a latter part when they were asking that he be remanded in BNI custody. I again saw him look at him, smile once again, and shake his head this way.
Now, ACP Agordzo also made some remarks about what he wore to the court today. What prompted those remarks?
And so it was just when we had exited the court premises, the staircase is a bit covered, and so when you're outside, you don't see people climbing up and down. So we had come down, then we could hear a noise coming down the staircase. So we tried to get closer, then we heard his voice, engage in a confrontation with someone. Then he exits and starts to point his finger at that individual, and he kept saying that he's going to wear the uniform. The information we picked up is that a concern had been raised about the fact that he was wearing his uniform to the courts, and even beyond that, he was actually wearing the beret, which is the UN one, and has a bit of something around the arm, which is with the UN as well. And so the concern had been raised about that, as well as the uniform, police uniform that he was wearing. But he kept saying to the individual that he's going to wear the uniform because he's a serving police officer who has not been interdicted, neither has he been sacked. So he sees no reason why he should not be wearing his uniform.
Now, finally, what is the court expected to rule on when the case is called again on Friday?
And so the main issue is whether the court can continue to hear this particular matter. They've not even read the charges against him, neither have they read the facts of the case. And so the court will decide whether it can, or if it can't, perhaps it hold on or refers it to the Supreme Court, as lawyers for Dr. Agordzo are asking the court to do.
All right, thank you very much, Joseph Akable, our court correspondent. Also joining us on the line now is lead counsel for ACP Agordzo, Martin Kpebu. Thank you very much, Mr. Kpebu, for making time to speak with us. Now, how would you say the court proceedings went for you today?
Yeah, so Israel, yes, very briefly, now because the court proceedings have started, I won't be able to comment as I used to. So I can only do a bit of education on the law, but in all of this, I heard Akable read the facts and all that. we still maintain strongly that our client is innocent, and in due course, we will all see how it will pan out in court.
But just
today,
matter of the facts of the case which Joseph Akabli shared with us, it appears that there's a bit more to what the prosecution has, because we've been of the understanding that it has to do with WhatsApp group he joined, some comments he posted on the WhatsApp platform, and money he gave donated to the group. But now we're hearing that he actually incited. He was inciting this group to take over government as a matter of right, and they add that he gave various sums of money. He drafted a speech for them, and he agreed to join a demonstration. So it's quite
right. These are false. They are false. As I told you, look, I was in that interview. As I said, because the court proceedings have started, I'm not able to. Even next time, I won't even speak at all. But the main point, which, I mean, for education, because I'm not dealing with the merits, I can educate, is that, and that's a very strong point, and that is what citizens should be interested in, is that for years, decades, when you have a case, a first degree felony like this, it is standard practice for police to just present their accused or suspect before a district court, and then they have the magistrate just remand it, just like that. So the upshot of this court hearing is that we have formally raised an objection that that practice should stop. That if you are presenting an accused or a suspect, take him to a court where he will not only be remanded, he will not just be remanded, but rather he has an effective and fair chance to apply for bail. Let's repeat. You see, the Constitution says that if you arrest somebody, and you don't finish investigations, and for so many other reasons, you want to keep him for beyond 48 hours, present him to a court of law so that the court will now determine whether to grant your wish, that is the remand, or to grant him bail.
All right.
You see, but so far, for all these decades, in such cases, we just take him to a district court where he has no chance of applying for bail. When I say no chance, the lawyer can talk eloquently for hours. The judge will usually have just one sentence. Oh, counsel, you know my hands are tied. Go to high court. So what we want to change is a practice.
All right.
So henceforth, if you are not yet ready, don't take him to the district court. Take him to the high court where that the judge has jurisdiction to grant bail or to refuse. So that's the action. That's why I accepted to grant this.
All right. Thanks for. Yeah, Mr. Kpebu, something quite away from the court that has to do with the uniform that your client wore to the courts today. The fact that he presented himself in a police uniform and having a UN beret, it's something that has come up, but apparently it's of concern to the police hierarchy.
Now, Evans, Israel, I'm not aware of this, so I'm not able to listen.
But couldn't he have worn any other outfit apart from this uniform?
Oh, Israel, as I said, remember I told you that I just wanted us to move forward, the one that will bring progress. Let's concentrate on the substantive issues. As for red herrings, we'll get a lot. So thank you. Let me just go on, okay?
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. Martin Kpebu is a lawyer, lead counsel for ACP Agordzo. We have also been joined on the line by Paul Avui, a retired police superintendent. Thank you very much, Mr. Avui. Now, one of the issues that has come up in court today has to do with the uniform that was worn by ACP Agordzo. Is that really an issue?
Good evening to your cherished viewers. I've been out of the system for some years now, and recently the police service has promulgated a new service instructions. And in that instructions, we have regulations on appearance. But I don't know what the regulation says about police officers' appearance in the court of law, how they should appear, whether it's civil or in uniform. Is a serving officer all right? we haven't heard any news about his interdiction or otherwise. So I think the instructions will actually point us to the truth of the matter of this issue concerning appearance. But if other than that, I cannot, make any claim on whether he is obliged by law or by the regulations to appear uniform
All right.
or otherwise. Yeah.
Now, Mr. Avui, is there any precedent when it comes to how the police administration or how the police is supposed to react in a situation where a senior officer, such as ACP Agordzo, is presented before the courts? He's in detention at the BNI. Is there any way the police or any precedent to how the police should handle this matter?
I think that we all agree that in a democracy, it's all about the rule of law. And I think that Ghana is, the nation of Ghana is signatory to many UN treaties and declarations. And I think we have a UN declaration or treaty on handling of, intentional handling of, offenders. So in this regard, he's an offender before the law. And therefore, the rights and privileges, that all the rights and privileges that the declaration or the treaty grants UN member countries for the handling and detention of offenders must apply. His rights and privileges must be respected and not abused. I think if such an abuse probably has come out, I think it's for the police administration to draw attention to some of these things.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, retired Superintendent Paul Avui. We also have Colonel Festus Abuaji. He has extensive knowledge of the UN system, and I just want to put to you briefly, just ask you a brief question about the appearance of ACP Agordzo in court, the fact that he showed up in court in a police uniform, but also had the UN beret and some other UN insignia. How does that present to the UN system? How will that be seen?
It's a bit complicated. Now, I don't know the police regulations, but with regards to the armed forces, when you are court-martial, you appear in uniform until the verdict is pronounced. And if you are guilty, then your beret and your other symbols or titles and so on, rank, are removed. It may be the case for the police that because he is charged as ACP Benjamin Agordzo, he's not been dismissed or discharged from the Ghana Police Service, he is entitled to be a uniform. That's one side of it. The other side of it is that since he returned from Haiti or Haiti, I've had the occasion of meeting him at Kofi Annan, where we both facilitated the course. And the information I gathered from him was that although he had returned from Haiti, he is still on UN service. I don't know exactly when it is going to end. And therefore, although he's back in Ghana, he remains an officer of the UN system. But having said that, I'm not too sure, and I stand to be corrected, about the appropriateness of him appearing in a court of law, national court of law, charged with offenses that do not relate to the UN, and appearing in the UN beret and UN armband and so on and so forth. I don't know. It might not be a rule or regulation as such. It may be a sense of rightness or appropriateness and so on and so forth. But at least we know for a fact that the offenses that he is being charged with are not UN related. And therefore, although he is still on UN service, he probably could have appeared in the Ghanaian police uniform but put on Ghanaian beret and other insignia of the Ghanaian police service. Indeed, as I speak with you, I've had a clarification from the international circles, a professor that we all used to work with,
All right.
asking what is all this about with men. You see, so the messages are already out there in the international domain. And I think we need to be a bit careful that we don't draw the UN system into this case.
All right.
But as I'm saying, I don't know exactly what the regulations of the UN are with regards to where you can appear in UN uniform when you have legal charges preferred against you at the local court.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, please.
Colonel Retired Festus Aboagye, and he has extensive security analyst with extensive knowledge of the UN system. You're watching Joy News Prime.